We're going to talk about some epic failures of gigantic proportion that has happened to a few people here in the Philippines, but I'm going to tell you about one that happened to me. So let's first talk about some common problems that cause for failure in the Philippines. And I'm not talking about not planning, on a bank, not planning on how to get your money here, not planning on how you get your mail, or where you're going to stay, Airbnb and that kind of stuff. Planning for the long term. If you're going to be coming here and you're thinking the Philippines is where I want to live, and I'm going to live here for a long time, and you're going to live on your Social Security, you need to protect your Social Security. One thing that can happen is it can be withheld by the U.S. government. If you owe taxes, if you owe back taxes, and you don't make some sort of payment arrangement, or if you fail to file your taxes for many years, the IRS can reach out and they can garnish your Social Security benefits. You'll be out here having a great time, then all of a sudden you're going to get a payment that's short, or they're going to hold a whole month or two until you contact the IRS. So when you come here, make sure you did your taxes, make sure you know how to do them in the future. How are you going to do your taxes? So many guys ask me, Mike, what method do you use to do your taxes? I do mine online. H&R Block has a type of service for people living overseas to file taxes. Many different tax services you can get to help an expat who's living overseas file their taxes. Guys, if you're over here in the Philippines or any country and you're filing your U.S. taxes being an expat living in a different country, down below in the description, in the comments section, let me know what service you use and how good is it. And maybe even put down the cost if you know what it is. FDR once said, "You have nothing to fear but fear itself." And the one thing I fear that could cause a major catastrophe for me would be some sort of illness, and especially stroke. Like, I don't really fear a heart attack. If I have a heart attack, that could be the end of life. But a stroke you survive, or a major illness where you're incapacitated for a while, it has a lot of fear in my mind. If I have a stroke, how am I going to transfer money over here to keep my lifestyle going? How am I going to communicate with my banks, with the IRS, with Social Security, with my loved ones back home? You have to have something in place that if you get very sick, or say you even have a stroke, that somebody can take over your affairs. There's a gentleman that Janet and I know, he had a stroke a few years back. And we talked to his girlfriend, his wife, and she said the biggest thing was they went 5 or 6 months with no income. Because of the stroke, he was unable to use the computer and he forgot his passwords. He didn't know how to get his money, and she didn't know how to get it. He's had a stroke, he has other problems than trying to figure out his password. So make sure you have some system in place that somebody can help you if you're incapacitated, if you can't use a computer, if you're in a position where you can't remember your passwords anymore. Leave this information with a loved one back home or a friend here in the Philippines. But the person you're living with or a close friend here, let them know who that person is. Give them the contact information that if something happens to you, they can contact someone back home who has access to your passwords, maybe has access to your bank account, somebody who can get money transferred here for you so you can continue with your life here. A stroke is something you have to work through. It takes time to get back to somewhat normal. But during this time, who's going to take care of your day-to-day affairs? Who's going to take care of your business affairs? Who's going to take care of making sure Social Security sends you your money that arrives in your bank and you get it transferred here? This could be a major problem, is if you have a stroke or some sort of illness where you cannot take care of your personal affairs. You need to have somebody either here in the Philippines or someone back home that you can trust to take care of your affairs for you. And also, if that person's back home, let the people here know their contact information. Maybe share it with a friend and tell them, hey, if something ever happens to me, contact my sister or contact my kid. Give them that contact information. Your Social Security. A lot of guys, and I'm included in this package, have not paid for Medicare anymore. They don't make that Medicare Part B payment anymore. You know, that $170 a month that you saved by not making this payment. You can't use it while you're here, or can you? Some people tell me that you can have some work done here and you can send the bill to Medicare and get reimbursed. I don't know about that. I don't know if it's a fact. I would not trust that. But some guys are canceling their Medicare, and I'm one of them. And you save that $170 a month. That could be the difference from a comfortable life here to a better life, or a not so comfortable life to a comfortable life. That could be a big difference, and you need that money. But just remember, 10 years from now, when you get older and you have some sort of illness that you need medical care, you might have to go back to the US or go to Guam for care, and you won't have that Medicare Part B. It's something I have to think about, because that could be a major disaster if you need a stent put in or some sort of open heart surgery, and you don't have the money to pay for that. Or if you do, it's probably the last time you have. So reconsider not having Medicare. Think hard. It's a decision that you have to make. It's a personal decision. And also, if you do keep your Medicare and you're sitting here and you're saying, man, if anything bad happens to me, I'm just going to fly to Guam and get it taken care of. Think about this. A lot of things that could happen to you, you can't go fly on an airplane. The airlines won't take you. You know, if you're sick, if you have a major problem and you need a nurse along with you, some airlines might not transport you and let you board as a passenger. So keep all these things in consideration, and keep in mind where you live here in the Philippines. I don't think it's the quality of care in the hospital if you have a heart problem or a major event. The problem is getting to the hospital. Jan and I were up in Cebu last week, and there was a big fire somewhere. We didn't see the fire, but we watched the fire trucks weave their way through traffic. And we were able to see for about a half mile. It took so long for these 3 trucks to get that half mile through traffic. One car at a time moving over, zigzagging through the traffic. Think if that's an ambulance. That ambulance might not get you to the hospital in time. So if you have heart problems, if you have a condition that you're fully aware of, maybe you want to consider living close to the hospital, almost walking distance. If that's the case, if your condition is that bad. If you're out here in DUMAGUETE, you could be living up in the mountaintop like where we're at right now. And yeah, there's no traffic, but you're far from the hospital. And when you get farther away, it's harder to get an ambulance, and the time to get from here to the hospital is longer and longer. It could be, you know, an hour before an ambulance finally gets here, and then it could be a half-hour trip to the hospital. Is that enough time to get you there and save your life? I don't know. These are personal choices you have to make. But these are epic failures that could happen in your life to cause your retirement here in the Philippines or any other country to come to a screeching halt and be a disaster. And a little later in this video, I'll talk about a couple epic problems that I had, epic failures that I've had recently in the last month or two that are causing me a lot of headache and a lot of concern. Now guys, you've been careful, you've come here to the Philippines, you met somebody that you like, somebody you love, you're living with them, maybe you married them, maybe not, but it's your lifelong partner now. She's committed to you and you're committed to her. Get along with the family, dude. If it's a family that you don't trust, you don't want to be around, here's the point I'll bring up. 10 years from now, say you're 65 and you're 75, you're creeping in on 80, and you need help. You can't walk too well. You need someone to help you to the car. You need someone to help you walk out of the car and into the coffee shop, or out of the car, walk into the restaurant. This is going to be family members. And you have to get along with your family. You're going to have to need your family later in life, when you're not as strong as you are now, or as invincible as you think you are now. There will be a time in your life when you need a caretaker far more than a girlfriend or a wife. So treat your family right. Treat your Filipino family with respect, and hopefully when you get older and you need help, you can trust them more than you can a nursing home back in the States. Not being friends with your family could cause some epic problems later down the line when you need help, when you need a companion, not female companion, but you need someone to help you get around, someone to make sure you don't fall, someone to make sure that when you need something, they'll go to the counter and get it. Or you order a coffee and your coffee's ready, they go up and get the coffee for you to help make your life easier so you can keep on enjoying your retirement here in the Philippines. A big failure by so many here is lack of planning, lack of that long-term planning. You know, at some point you're going to have to trust your wife or your girlfriend to have the password to your computer, to have the password to your bank accounts, to handle your money. You know, at some point you're going to need to trust these people. And also, you need to plan for the future when you're not around no more. Does your partner know what you need done when you pass? Do you want to be cremated? Do you want to be buried here? Do you want to be shipped back home to the U.S. or your home country? What are the plans that you have? What are your wishes at the end of life? You know, do you want to be on life support systems? Do you want to drain all your money out of your account to keep you alive for a few more days? A living will, a living trust. Make sure you have those. It's real easy. Go see an attorney, have them make up one for you, seal it in an envelope where your loved ones know where it's at, and it's there for them to use as guidance to what you need done later in life. Don't be a failure and not prepare for the end. Don't put that burden on the person who loves you so much that they're in mourning for you. You know, they're crying at your bedside. You know, they're mourning for you all the time, and now they have to make decisions. Do you want him cremated? Do you want him buried? Do you want us to ship his body back to the U.S.? You have to let them know what you want done. Now, in the recent weeks, I've had a lot of failures going on around me, man. Just one failure after another. I'm trying to get the 13A marriage visa, but I failed my NBI, National Bureau of Investigation, background check. You know, Janet's here worried. She says, am I with a murderer? What did Mike do wrong that he is failing this background check? And when I went to get this check done, you know, I'm using the C&G consulting services, HEIDI, to help me get through this process. They were sort of at a loss. Why did I fail? You know, to me, I haven't done anything wrong. I had to go into a back room. I had to get my fingerprints taken a second time, where they put the ink and you know, you get all your fingerprints taken, and they send it off to Manila to be evaluated for a better background check. And this lack of planning on my part, that there's a possibility that I could fail the background check, has caused me now to have 2-3 extra trips into Cebu, where if I would have started earlier when I was there for the 6 months, I could have started this process anytime. But I kept putting it off and putting it off, and I did it on the last couple weeks I was in Cebu, thinking it would be a piece of cake and then come back one more time for the interview. But no, because I failed, there's multiple trips back and forth. So my lack of planning. So if you're going to come to the Philippines, what kind of visa are you planning on? Is it going to be a tourist visa forever? They're a hassle. Are you going to do an SRRV? Are you a vet and you're going to take advantage of the cheap fees and deposit requirements for a veteran permanent retirement visa? Or are you going to put a deposit down and get that permanent retirement visa? All these things that you do will make life easier later if you get it all done early. Plan ahead of time. What kind of visa? Are you going to live on a tourist visa forever here? Stay 3 years, transfer out of the country and come back, do that border run? That's fine too. But know that you're going to be doing that. And then when you turn 80, are you going to get on that plane as a real old man one more time? Do you want to go down and renew your visa every couple months? Thank God they're doing it online now. It makes it a lot easier. And it's a simple way to go. But decide ahead of time what kind of visa you're going to have in the long run. You might be like me. I was going to be a tourist visa forever here, but I met Janet, I got married, so I decided to go with the 13A. My other epic disaster is my budgeting of my time. I run out of time every day. You know, look at me now. It's 2:30 in the afternoon. I should have had this done 2 days ago. We're up here in the mountains where it's nice and cool. It was very, very hot back home down at the bottom of the hill. And Jan and I are doing this video. I've run out of time to do my daily budgets that I wanted to put up every day to show you what I spend. Just not enough time in the day. Always looking. I'm looking for a place to live. I had to run up to Cebu to take care of this visa problem. I had friends come in from the US. Thank God I have friends that came in. It was such a joy visiting with these people. Zoom from Thailand, El Guapo from the US. He's from the DC area. What a joy it was to meet these people. I spent days with Paul Old Dog, El Guapo, and Ricky Mack, and some representatives of Christian Filipina. We were talking and enjoying the day and doing videos together. But my time gets away from me. Being older, you start to lose track of what you have to do, and it's hard to be motivated 12, 14 hours a day anymore. I used to be able to go the whole day, plan A, plan B, just get everything done in that course of the day. Now, you know, I lose interest in doing things. So maybe this is the end of my YouTube career as I'm losing interest in doing things, but I'm going to keep going for as long as I can. Budgeting your time. When you come to the Philippines, hopefully your retirement is in such a good order and you have control of your time and you're great at budgeting your time so you can get as much done as you need done or not to do and relax and enjoy the pool, enjoy the beach, enjoy the mountains. I'm starting not to get the chance to enjoy these things, but I'm getting back on track here. I'm going to start spending more me time, more time with Janet, and enjoying our life a little bit better and not make so many commitments and try to budget my time much better, get more done in a shorter period of time, but get back to relaxing and enjoying my life. You guys, don't forget to plan. As many people have said before, if you don't plan, you're planning on failure. Epic failures happen here. There's major things people forget to do that causes nothing but hardship. Why would you ever want to not do your taxes and take the chance that the Internal Revenue will take your Social Security? You know, they're the only ones that can garnish your Social Security. You know, no other bill you owe, no creditor, only the government, the federal government can garnish your Social Security. So don't get caught by surprise. Keep up to date on your taxes. Keep up to date with your Social Security. Stay in contact with the IRS if you are behind. There's no harm in being behind. There's no harm in owing people money. You just need to talk to them and set up some sort of payment plan and make good arrangements. The two guys who I've known where their retirement completely was to crap, they lost their Social Security for months because the IRS was owed money and they ignored them forever and ever. And the only way the IRS could get their attention was to grab their money. So guys, plan. The only thing you need to fear, as FDR said, the only thing you need to fear is fear itself. Take care of your business, enjoy your retirement, enjoy your life.